Parasitology of helminths, helminthic parasite. Those are platyhelminthes and nematohelminthes or nematodes. In this discussion, we are going to discuss about the what are platyhelminthes and what are nematohelminthes. How is their basic body structure? Where do they live? Because we are discussing about the parasitology of the helminthic parasites, most of them are parasite. They can live in the host body, especially in the vertebrate, digestive system or blood. In the body organization, how many germ layers are there? Triploblastic and coelom development, platyhelminthes, acylometa, pseudocoelometa in nematohelminthes, and the body symmetry, bilateral symmetry, and what are the life processes. Our main discussion is about the life processes. They are all parasites. They live in the host body where the readily digested food molecules are available. So there are no particular system in their body except the reproductive system. Reproductive system is highly developed in the parasites. Whatever it may be, the parasite, helminthic or protozoan parasites, the reproductive system is highly developed, but remaining systems are reduced, declined. And the parasitology of some of the organisms life cycle we will discuss. Cystosoma, hematobium and Dracunculus medicensis, like that. Then what our main important goal is to discuss about the parasitic adaptations. What are the special adaptations take place in the platyhelminthes and nematohelminthes to live in the host body? What are the organs developed? What are the organs reduced in their body? That is the discussion about the parasitic adaptations. Now the platyhelminthes their body is, for example, Taenia solium we see, this is the ribbon-like body. This ribbon-like body is flat body due to the presence of acylom in the body. During the embryonic development, the mesoderm is found, but the mesoderm is occupied total coelom, primary coelom. Then there is no coelom in their body. Their body looks like a paper or a leaf-like structure. So they are called the flatworms or platyhelminthes. Nematodes are called the roundworms because they are having some pseudocoelom in their body. However, they are having some coelom in their body, but that is not actually the true coelom. That is a pseudocoelom, because the mesodermal layer is forming during the embryonic development at the time of gastrulation, but the mesoderm is occupying beneath the ectoderm only, but not around the digestive tract or gut enteron. So that is called the pseudocoelomate. We have discussed about this body symmetry, germ layers and coelom development in the separate videos. You can find them in the description box. Some of the planaria like animals are free living animals. They can collect their food by their own, but most of them are parasites. So they are living in the host body where the digested food molecules are available. Glucose, amino acids, glycerols and fatty acids, vitamins and minerals are readily available. So there is no need of digestive system in these organisms especially. If there is no particular digestive system, there is no particular respiratory system, because they are living in the host body where there is no air, no oxygen. For example, this platyhelminthes and nematohelminthes, Taenia solium is living in the small intestine, and Ascaris lumbricoides is also living in small intestine. Some are living in the large intestine. In our small intestine, large intestine, there is no air and no oxygen. They have to live in that area. They wanted food. They don't want any oxygen. If there is no oxygen, how do they perform the cellular respiration and how do they get the energy, ATP? In anaerobic condition, that is only glycolysis process. In anaerobic condition, they can get very little amount of energy. That energy is utilized by these parasites. There is no need of huge amount of ATP molecules for them. Why there is no need of more energy? Because they are doing nothing. There is no work for them. They have no digestion, there is no circulation, there is no particular organ, there is no movement, no locomotion, there is no need to spend the energy. Very little amount of energy is enough to survive these parasites, just for reproduction and just for the excretion purpose only. So in anaerobic condition they are living, they require very little amount of energy, that energy is used. That's why no other systems are developed. Respiratory system is not developed, circulatory system is not developed, digestive system is not developed. There are no particular excretory organs in their body. So in the life process we have discussed only the reproductive system is highly developed. Why do the reproductive system is highly developed in these parasites? Not only in these helminthic parasites, also in the protozoan parasites and also in bacteria, those which are attacking the human body or any other organisms. In these parasites, only the reproductive system is highly developed. Why? Because in the host body, while they are living in the host body, they have to face many problems. Because if they live in our digestive tract, our digestive enzymes are released and they can kill the helminthic parasites or any bacteria or protozoans. They can kill or they can digest the organisms. That's why the death rate is very high in the parasites. So the birth rate should be very high. That's why they have developed a particular reproductive system. Then what are the parasitic adaptations we will discuss now. In nematode, this is platyhelminthes. In this platyhelminthes, suckers are developed. These are called the suckers. These are called the suckers. And these are called the hooks. Hooks and suckers. What are these actually? Hooks and suckers are well developed in these organisms. You cannot find the hooks and suckers in any other animal in the animal kingdom. Especially in these helminthic parasites, you can find these special organs, hooks and suckers. For example, in our digestive tract, they have to live. These are nematodes, Ascaris lumbricoides, Artenia solium, they have to live on our digestive tract. For example, in our small intestine. In the small intestine, the food is moving by the peristaltic movements in the stomach, small intestine and large intestine, the food should move. Vigorously the food is moving in our digestive tract by the peristaltic movements. Why don't these organisms, parasites, move in the small intestine with the peristaltic movements along with the food material? Why don't they move? Yes, they may move, but they have developed some hooks and suckers. With the help of these hooks and suckers, they are attached to the small intestine or large intestine wall. Firmly they are attached. They are attached firmly. So, no one food material, water or any other peristaltic movement cannot move these organisms from this area to forward. They cannot move. So, these are the special organs, only these. These suckers and hooks are developed and the reproductive system is highly developed. That's all. Reproductive system is developed due to the death rate is very high. All over the animal kingdom or plant kingdom or bacterial world also, if the death rate is very high, the birth rate is also very high. Because every organism has a desire to increase their population, to survive their population. That's why the reproductive system is highly developed because they have to face many threats in the life cycle. Their life cycle is also very complicated. In the helminthic parasites, also in the protozoan parasites and the bacteria, the life cycle is also very complicated life cycle they have. Why they have a very complicated life cycle? For example, in the Schistosoma hematobium, for example, you will see Schistosoma hematobium. These are the male organism, this is a female organism which lives in the body. That can live in the blood. Overview I am discussing. I'll discuss detail in the PowerPoint presentation, but now I am going to tell you about why the life cycle is very complicated in these animals. That's what I am discussing about the parasitic adaptations. So the male and female organisms involved in the copulation, they and transfer the sperm cells into the female organism. Female organisms lays eggs in the blood of human. Then in the urine, the eggs are released. the eggs are released in the human, present in the human. While this human excreting this urine in the open areas, the eggs may lay on this ground. These are actually digenetic parasites. Why they are calling as the digenetic parasites means they are completing their life cycle is complicated. I said to you know. Why they are complicated means because they are living in two hosts. They require two hosts to complete their life cycle. One host is snail. Snail is one host. Snail is one host. Human being is another host. Human being is the primary host. Snail is secondary host. I'll tell you why they are calling as the primary host and secondary host. Primary host means sexual reproduction should take place. Secondary host means asexual reproduction or no reproduction take place in this animal, or embryonic development take place only. If the sexual reproduction take place, those are called the primary host. In the secondary host, asexual reproduction may be take place or only the embryonic development goes on. Digenetic, that's why these are called the digenetic parasite. Two hosts are compulsory. Snail is compulsory, Bulinas or planarbis snails only, those two species only. In those two species, these organisms or embryonic development can live only. If another snail is available, this organism do not enter into that snail and do not live in that body. And except the human being, this organism do not live in other vertebrates. So these compulsory these two hosts should be there to complete its life cycle. Secondary host is the Bulinas or planarbil snail and primary host is a human being. If there is no one host, life cycle will be closed. So after the urination, the eggs may fall on the ground. If he excrete in the water bodies, for example, waterlogging areas, or sometimes it may be rainy season, the eggs may go through the water current and it enters into the pond, for example. In the pond, the snails are available, Bunilas or planarbis or snails are available. At this moment, at this time, that what happened, the eggs undergo the divisions, cleavages and developed as a sporocyst, miracidium larvae. Miracidium, a larvae. A larvae is developed, miracidium larvae. This miracidium larvae enter into the snail body, and if the snail is available, this miracidium enter into this snail body. In this snail body, that can be developed as a sporocyst. Another larva. This is one larva, this is another larva, sporocyst. Inside the snail, this can be developed as the Cercaria, another type of larva. Larva number 1, larva number 2 and larva number 3. Sometimes Metacercaria larva number 4 also formed in life cycle of some of the parasites, helminthic parasites. This Cercaria or Metacercaria larva are ready to enter into the human body. Well, when a human walking in the water or in the fields, then what happens if this Metacercaria are available, that can make some injuries on the skin, enter into the body of human. Then it can goes and it can goes and fixed in the blood, reach it to the blood, and its life cycle started again. Simultaneously, they can reach to the lungs and causes lung diseases, and sometimes it may arrest the heart contractions also. Okay, this is the life cycle. What do we learn from this life cycle is this is digenetic parasite, and the life cycle is very complicated. Why? How can we say that our life cycle is very complicated? Means larva 1, larva 2, larva 3 are there. Why this number of larvas? Because the eggs are sometimes encysted. Encysted means they can form a hard shell around their body. Because after the urination, the water may be available or may not be available. The environmental conditions may suitable or may not be suitable. That's why these eggs are encysted with some hard shell, hard layer. That's if the environmental conditions are suitable, this layer is broken and the small miracidium released into the water. Then if the miracidium is there, if the Planarbis or bullinus snail is available, this can swim and attach to the snail body. Then if it enter into the snail body, the life cycle moves forward. If not, the life cycle will be closed. Then it can develop as a sporocyst. If the sporocyst is developed, if it is released into the water, then it can be developed as a Cercaria larva or metacercaria larva. Then, if the human being is available, this can enter into the human body. Is it possible actually? Most of the time it is not possible. The life cycle is very complicated. Sometimes the snail may not be available, sometimes the humans may not be available, sometimes the environmental conditions may not be suitable, sometimes the water may not be available. So, the environmental conditions or the hosts may or may not be available. Their life cycle is very complicated. That's why to tolerate the harsh environmental conditions, to tolerate if there is no host also. So, the life cycle is very complicated to tolerate any harsh conditions. So, this is a great adaptation found in the helminthic parasites. And there is no particular digestive system, circulatory system or respiratory system or excretion. Okay, however, in the helminthic parasites, especially the platyhelminths, the protonephridia are present. The protonephridia may be flame cells. These are flame cells or sometimes the solenocytes with flagella. The solenocytes are the protonephridia. These can collect the nitrogenous waste material, excess amount of water and ions, osmotic regulation. Along with the nitrogenous waste material called the ammonia are collected by these solenocytes or flame cells. They can be excreted out. These are the special character. Only present, these protonephridia are present in the platyhelminths only. These are some, there are no special locomotory organs, no digestive system, no respiratory system, no circulatory system, and locomotory organs are also important. Hooks and suckers, special organs are developed in them. Life cycle is very complicated to tolerate the harsh conditions. They are developing different types of larvae. Sometimes they are developing a cyst around the eggs to tolerate the harsh conditions. That's why there are many helminthic adaptations are found in these organisms. See here, this in the platyhelminths, the body is very flat. This Taeniasolia, for example, that is actually very long organism, but it can be arranged in a centimeter in our digestive tract, because that is coiled and coiled and coiled. That body is coiled due to this ribbon-like or flat body. And another important thing is uh, Ascaris lumbricoides, for example, roundworms. This Ascaris lumbricoides can live in our small intestine. In the small intestine, the male and female organisms are separate or distinct, unisexual organisms these are. But most of the platyhelminths are bisexuals or hermaphroditic animals. But these nematohelminths are male and female organisms are separated, unisexual organisms. Male and female organisms participate in the copulation and they lay eggs. Female organism lay eggs in the small intestine. These eggs, in a day, 2 lakhs eggs are released by one female in a day. Why this number of 2 lakhs eggs in a day? Why this much of number of eggs are releasing by one female means the death rate is very high. That's why the birth rate is becoming very high, because through the fecal material they have to come out from the body. If the fecal material is excreted in the open area, if that is mixed with the water current, if that can reach to the water, that can develop in some other secondary host, that should reach to the human body. In this middle, the harsh conditions or hosts are available or sometimes not available. This is very complicated. The death rate will become very high. So the birth rate is becoming very high. That's why these Ascaris lumbricoides are laying 2 lakhs eggs per day.